All right, traders, it is the 2nd of August, 2017. My name is Jameson. Welcome to Behringer Trade. We're looking at a 3-minute vertical bar chart for today's retrospective market review. I like to come in here when things are a little bit more indecisive. Let's look at today's intraday trading activity, and then we'll look at the actually current trading range that we're looking at or that we are experiencing. So at the open here, we have an established level of volume. We can see that as it attempts to rally higher, we have less buying effort there, and we lose the current open here on expanding supply. So we can see that the selling volume is actually expanding on this breakdown. And this attempt to rally higher, we can see here, happened on less effort here. There's less participation. And the effort here was unable to reestablish this prior level of support. So support became resistance. We have an upper wick saying that there's some selling. And then we break down, we reject it. Now we're currently trading back into lows here. This is still support. However, the character at which that we break down with increased ease of downward movement, closing at lows, and engulfing all these 3-minute sessions here is very bearish. So you can speculate that that we're going to see some downside. And again, we continue to break down on expanding supply, lots of supply, and then we achieve lower lows here. You can start to see that supply is contracting, right? So when you reference the volume from 10:15 into 11 o'clock, you can see that supply is contracting. You can also appreciate the down thrust, the down waves are contracting. So the distance from here to the bottom here is pretty long. We kind of rally up, little dead cat bounce, and then we thrust lower here, it's shortening. And then we rally back up, and you can actually see here that this prior level of support here is still resistance, and we break back down, but we're starting to kind of broaden this base of support. The downward follow through is stopping. There's shortening to the down thrust. That kind of gives us a descending wedge formation that's present, and then we rally through here. So there really is no trade that's available yet. We're still just kind of laterally trading who's in control. But you can see as we rally higher that demand does overcome supply here. We do re-achieve this level here, and we actually break it. So there's some intraday strength that's present. And now we're breaking down with narrowing price spreads. This looks like supply is having a difficult time overcoming demand. You can see here that it came down very quickly, increased ease of downward movement. Not so much through here. And then here, I mean, look at this. We lose this area. We wash this out here. This is very bearish. You know, I would expect some downward follow through here. The fact that it didn't happen suggests that we're in stronger hands for the day. And then we just kind of consolidate here. We're trying to confirm this prior level of support here. Is this support or resistance? We're rejecting it. We reject it. We try to break down. And you can see that as we're testing this level here, which correlates with this prior level resistance, so now resistance is becoming support, there's no supply. So we're breaking down, but the effort that's going into it is much less than it occurred an hour after open here between 10 and 10:30. And now we kind of rally away. So we had this nice bullish hammer. This is actually a spring. We violate the kind of wash out this the lows that are here and then close higher. That creates a spring. And then we rally back away through here. And the character which we do, it looks like it's having some difficulty, and it's just because there's some sellers that are present. But you can see here that the volume is beginning to expand. We're seeing some dip buyers. And that was the trade that presented today was at the open. So when we rejected this level of support and there is no demand, that's your short signal. And then the second trade that would present here would be on the long side when we retested this prior level of resistance, confirmed it a support in the presence of less selling demand to rally back into the close for the day. Now we are, what is going on with today's close? So, we did kind of close very bullishly, went from red to green, and we're doing so with expanding volume. So it looks like this is a pretty good close. We do have some, this upper wick that's present. However, it still it looks constructive. If we look at a 15-minute chart, the relationship of the close to the prior sessions here, what does it mean? So we have a nice kind of bullish ascending channel that's present here, and then we kind of gap lower, we kind of consolidate, very boring. But you can see that on this gap down that there's no follow through, and there's actually a lot of buying effort. And then similar circumstances here is that we break back down and we test this. You can see there's no supply. That tells me that we're in strength. And then we kind of rally higher, we gap up, but now you can see these gaps are being sold. We gap higher, it's being sold. We gap higher, it's being sold. And actually specifically, if you look at the effort here, we have a lot of buying volume that's resulting in no new highs. Big effort, little reward, there's some distribution. Same thing here. Big effort, little reward, some distribution. And in the character which that we break down through this trading range here, with increased ease, expanding volume, now we have supply. And you can appreciate that supply overcame demand, right? Because this is a lower low relative to this trading range. Bulls are losing control here. And then we kind of rally, we rally higher, it's sold. It kind of gaps higher the next day, it's sold again. Gaps higher, it's sold again. Looks very distributive. But now we break down, we lose this area here, and it looks like there's not a lot of supply that's present. So it looks very, this looks very distributive here. And then we kind of are getting some higher lows that's present. Structurally, this looks like some distribution, but at the same time, today's breakdown shows that there's a little bit less selling pressure. So from a structural standpoint, I'm a little biased that we're seeing some distribution, but the inability for prices to continue lower suggests that the market still remains in strong hands. Now, so my bias is that I remain bullish. Now, at the same time, you would be careless to throw money at this, because at the same time, we're seeing effort, and this buying effort has not overcome this floor support. So at the present time, the S&P is trading into resistance defined by this prior level of support. So if we break this 247.60 range and we confirm this resistance as support, then I think we rally. All right, traders, good luck. Hope you found that helpful. We'll see how things go.